A Friday is a fine day for something funny, wholesome and relatable, and the King of Staten Island delivers a rather enjoyable package in that department. Judd Apatow's, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly, most famous include The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is a great top-tier comedy, as well as Knocked Up and last before last, 5 whole years ago, Trainwreck, which I happened to catch on the big screen, and it was aight, but not a fan. This time around, Apatow directs a story co-written by its star Pete Davidson, which is dedicated to his dad Scott Davidson and quite heavily inspired by Pete's own life. Though not without its flaws, I can tell you now that The King of Staten Island is my favorite Judd Apatow piece since 2005. To most, probably known as a member of Saturday Night Live, now a rising comic, actor and a cool dude, Pete Davidson is portraying Scott, a 24-year-old who has been a case of ADD ever since his firefighter dad died when he was 7. Jobless and living with mom, Scott spends his days smoking bud, hanging out with friends, and dreaming of being a tattoo artist. When a couple of new characters enter his life, he is forced to grapple grief, trauma, and take his first steps towards redemption. In real life, Pete Davidson's father indeed was a firefighter who died in the line of duty, rescuing victims of the 9/11 attack. Cast member Steve Buscemi used to be a firefighter in the wake of the 80s and returned to help on the day of the same tragedy. The King of Staten Island is mainly a story about growing up, about finding the good things in life, learning to accept those good things, and taking responsibility over one's life. It's got a genuine sentiment in its heart which rests just in the right place, and it can also be legitimately funny. It's not structurally perfect, it can feel a little too scenic or episodic as it kind of focuses a lot on the quality of separate sequences that do not add a lot of story. The pivotal, turning point takes place as late as 100 minutes into the movie, and in the end the 2-hour and 17-minute runtime feels a little too tall. Having said that, it's a dramedy that's never boring and always pleasantly amusing. This kind of plot is usually, I believe, pretty predictable by default, so enjoy the ride, enjoy the substitute, the always present low-key charm. As a 23-year-old currently stuck in my hometown, jobless and great friends with Mary Jane, I felt like an appropriate audience member for the King of Staten Island, and that's what I meant with relatable and wholesome. Some might say that a big part of this movie isn't about a whole lot of anything, but I beg to differ. Perhaps the idyllic view on such simplicities tells a lot. I think it's apparent that Pete Davidson is a pivotal part of why this movie works so well. In what could be his best performance to date, and I do believe that it is, he plays a likable, decent, relatable guy with a good heart and some troubles in it. Plays him so authentically that one could guess some of it comes from a place of past pain. But that's not all. The supporting cast delivers well above average performances as well. Do not miss the chance to see Bill Burr in a bigger role and rocking an impressive moustache. And the female counterparts for both, respectively Bel Powley and Marisa Tomei, anchor the balance perfectly. Really a pleasant team of actors to watch working, entertaining and heartful.
Go ahead. I will respond better to encouragement.
I encourage you to shut the fuck up.
He's soft, you can't take it.
He's an emotional eater.
Well, that's the problem with this generation, man. They can't take criticism. They get all upset.
Hey, I'm not a whole generation, all right? I'm just a man. A man with feelings.
Oh, my.
Oh, I brought up.
Judd Apatow is arguably one of Hollywood heavyweights, making a film with a cast that doesn't stay behind all that much, so the level of these ingredients resemble themselves also in every technical and aesthetical department. It's visually very well orchestrated, subtle and perfect in its simplicity, never once anything distracting catches the eye. Soundtrack has a couple of real nice tunes in it as well, of which one dear to my heart nostalgia song ended the film, but I won't spoil it.
Do you guys even really get high anymore? I don't really think I get high anymore. I think I just kind of am myself. I haven't been high in a while, man, but I still do it. I like the lifestyle.
I'm mad high.
You know, even now I wonder why not more, cause I really dug it, but I do believe that it deserves a good, colorful, and perhaps even memorable 7 out of 10. And well, I do recommend this movie to just about anyone and everyone, if perhaps not too young and also not too old, but even one point of intrigue is enough.
Sup, Todd?
What's up, Scott?
You going to college too someday?
I'd like to, yeah. Go study law.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome, man. That sounds really cool. Do you have any weed?
I do.
Can I have some?
Definitely. I'll go grab it.
Thanks, Todd. Fucking home run, Todd.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.